Hi, welcome to Tucker Business and Travel. I'm Howard Tucker, and I am a certified Fora travel advisor who interviews interesting people all around the world about their travels and their business and finding out what's going on in business and what are the special things that are happening in their travel. And today we have a special guest, Hassan Lucas, who I know from many, many years ago, who is absolutely spectacular. He travels the world as a music producer and also as a DJ himself. And so I invited Hassan to join us. Hi, Hassan. How are you?
Good afternoon, Howard. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm fantastic. Seeing you even better. Seeing you even
Ah,
better.
it's good that we
So,
can align our schedules despite having different time zones right now. So this is good.
exactly. Brazil and Florida. Yeah, that works. And also, too, you've been in what? Japan. You've been in Cape Verde. You've been
Yeah,
in
I
quite a few
I've been
places.
around a bit for this past year. 2026 was 2025 was a very busy year, and 2026 is lining up to be the same.
Excellent. Well, tell the folks who are tuning in, what do you do and how does that relate to the music industry?
Okay, sure. Well, my name is Rasan Lucas. My official title is art strategist, booking and tour manager, creative producer, and DJ. So I wear four hats, but in between those, I'm sure there's about like four more hats in between those titles. I've been doing that type of work for quite some time. I come from the world that you knew me from before. I came from a concert producer and presenter world, so I've been working closely in the world of music and with various music artists and performers from all over the globe, with a huge focus on Latin America as well and the
Mhm.
Caribbean. So I've been in that world, immersed in that world since the early, I'd say the top of 2000 or so, the century, and digging into that and really setting my roots into the behind the scenes of the industry. So that comes from one-on-one consulting with music artists and looking at their careers and leading them to the best opportunities that raise their profile.
Well, what has surprised you about this particular position and what you decided to do? Is it what you thought it would be, or is it something totally different?
it's 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 a bit of both. It's kind of like everything I was every experience that I've had as a concert producer and presenter has kind of prepared me for the roles that or the tasks that I do now. Whereas before I was focusing on delivering for a greater audience, for at least 500 to 1,000 plus people, and bringing them the time of their lives. Now I work directly with the performers on stage before they go on stage, before they embark on their tours. And I've been blessed with that perspective of knowing what an audience is expecting from an
Mm.
artist before they even enter the room. So now I can prepare the artist. So there's in this world it's what I like to call hurry up and wait. So it's about being psychic. It's about working about 8 to 9 months in advance and before an execution date. And when that execution date comes around, you have to still be in the right mind and be present as you were 8 to 9 months before that. So
Right. So it's
it's
definitely delayed gratification. Yeah, you have to be
total. Oh,
patient,
absolutely,
and it's the
absolutely. If
long it's the
if
long term.
yeah, much that's a perfect term for it. Definitely delayed gratification. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a really interesting world. And of course, being immersed in music and involved in music is my lifelong dream. So it's a
Great.
good thing to call a career.
So, I mean, what's the most important thing for a new artist coming up to know from you? What's the first thing you tell them when you meet them?
The first thing I tell them is to remain humble.
Mm.
Humility and friendliness goes a long way. It's a classic. Classics never die.
Hmm.
And being nice and being respectful to people is
Mm.
always in style. So I always
Okay.
tell artists remain humble. No matter how big you get, remain humble.
Okay. Well, that's very good advice. I mean, we don't do the whole diva thing. We don't do and I gotta
No,
have fruit
no,
parfait from Paris, before every
no,
performance. Oh, okay. All right.
no.
Well,
Divas get limited opportunities. They're only
uh,
fit for certain moments.
Okay. And so, those are really, good advice to have because, we see people like Michael, was it Michael B. Jordan, who's very humble. And he's just blown up all over the place, but it came from hard work. It wasn't overnight.
That's
So
right.
that's what you talk about is, it's consistency, consistency.
Absolutely. And consistency leads to results. It absolutely does.
Okay. So with that, it takes you all around the world, and I follow you on Instagram, and I see you're waving from Tokyo, and you're waving from various places. Where do you want to talk about today?
Let's we can talk about some of my favorite spots over this past consecutive year, or 2025.
Okay.
Um, I would first I'll lead into with Medellin, Colombia. Uh,
Colombia.
yes, Medellin, Colombia has always been one of those. Well, Colombia itself, the country is so diverse
Mm,
um, and so multi-textured, and it's amazing to kind of grasp and get your mind around the fact that there are so many facets of life in in that one country. I mean, there's
mm,
everything from the folkloric to the historical cultural aspect to the more modern, and if you like, everything from architecture to food to
mm.
fashion to obviously my world, music. There are so many elements to partake of and to live in, and to see how all these cylinders are firing off at the same time is just
Wow.
mind blowing.
Wow. And Medellin is near the coast, isn't it?
Medellin is actually it's more it's a mountainous region actually.
Okay.
Near the coast would be more like Cartagena and
Um,
Barranquilla.
okay.
Those are yeah, and those are more closer to the coast. But Medellin is more in a mountainous area. In fact, the first thing you do after leaving the airport is you drive through one of the largest, if I'd say the second largest, or maybe the largest in mountain burrowed tunnel. I don't even know the right terms for it, but it's a mountain tunnel that extends for, I mean, miles. So I was driving through a mountain for at least a half hour. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's
that's the
amazing.
first thing you do. It's once you get out of the airport. And then when you come around, you're overlooking the bowl of the entire city.
Wow.
And it's amazing to see at nighttime because the whole area is just lit up with lights. So you're actually looking at all of Medellin from a bird's eye view. It's
Nice, nice.
amazing.
So let's talk about was it easy to rent cars to get around? What was that like?
Well, I'm a DIY person,
Mhm.
so I always start again. I like to remain humble and
Right,
keep humble throughout the whole thing. So I wasn't the first one to say, "Oh, I have to make sure my car is waiting outside,"
right.
or this and that. But the first thing I did was I asked about Uber. Uber is very present there.
Okay.
Uber, Lyft. There's even a sorry if there's a fire truck going by. Um, there's also, I think, another service called Didi,
Hmm.
Didi. So
Hmm.
that's similar to what Uber and Lyft does in the United
Right.
States. Um, but first thing I did was I checked to see if Uber, and then I compared rates, and then I said, well, wait a minute, I'm on the ground now. I'm going to be here for a minute. Let me travel like everybody else does. And then I asked right away if there is a public bus, and they just pointed me right in the same direction. I was able to exchange some currency at the airport right there.
Good.
It's very affordable. I would
Is
say
the
it was the
exchange
equivalent.
rate? Is it what's the exchange rate? Do you remember?
I don't remember the exchange rate, but I would say the equivalent was maybe a dollar, a
Okay.
USD, one
Okay.
dollar for the bus ride. And
Okay.
mind you, I
Oh,
had to
that's
take a
amazing.
different route. So I had because where I was staying was a bit more further in from where the
Hmm.
bus stop
Right.
went. So once I got to the bus stop, that's when I called an Uber, and my rate came out to maybe like $6, $7.
Oh,
So
that's amazing. You
yeah,
can't you
seven
can't you
USD
can't
is
beat
great.
that. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't beat that. You can't beat
not at
that. So
all.
let's talk about the music. Tell us about the
Uh,
music of Colombia and why does that speak to you so much?
well, number one, as I shared, I live and breathe music, so that's my thing.
Hmm.
Um, as far as the music of Colombia, I was there for I was actually in town there because I was touring with one of my clients who was a
Hmm.
performer. His name is Bruno Capinan. He's actually from Salvador Bahia, Brazil. So you kind of
Woohoo!
know that area a little bit, I think.
Brazil.
Yeah, I think you know that area.
Hmm.
Um, and so, but he also has a dual residence between Brazil and Canada, Toronto.
Wow.
So, we always joke about if whether he's going to Brazil or Canada, but I said we're meeting up in Medellin this time. So
Someplace in the
we're
middle.
embarking on, yeah, we embarked on this tour, and getting to see the musical palette of what everybody enjoys there. It's everything from the more modern stuff, whereas
Hmm.
like you have your electronic music, you have your reggaeton,
Hmm.
but of course, they also dive deep into tropical music like salsa and cumbia,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, as well as more folkloric styles like bullerengue, which is bullerengue is very much an Afro diasporic sound more than anything. So it's very, very based on call and response and lots of percussion and women coming out in beautiful floral dresses and dancing and embracing their culture in real time. And it's not just it's very much an intergenerational thing. So
Hmm.
that was amazing to see where
Hmm.
you have 60 plus year old elders in the community dancing next to teenagers who they're all dressed in the same garb, and it's more of a cultural language. And I thought that was amazing to see and witness. And that was just like a random Thursday night, like just
Wow.
gathering like
Beautiful.
nothing. That was amazing. And of course it's such a social atmosphere, and just digging into that music scene, and of course they're into rock music as well. So
Okay.
it's really, really just like just going through a radio station, and your radio station is just one city block, and you can just
Right.
hear various sounds coming out of each venue or each room. It
Oh,
was great.
wow. So, what advice would you give anyone that's their first time going to Medellin? Any tips you
Mm.
would give?
Oh, absolutely. One, brush up on your conversational Spanish. That's number
Hmm.
one,
Yes.
because just knowing a little bit of Spanish will help ease the tensions between you and the person you're asking for the answer. Just that
Okay.
little bit, even if it's broken, even if your
Right.
accent is off, that
Right.
effort itself is the bridge.
It's the same
And
thing in Brazil. Exactly the same thing. It's the effort
yeah,
that you put into it. They know. They know as soon as you start speaking. You're like, "Okay, país."
yeah,
So they know.
exactly, exactly. So then they'll know it, but if with you trying to build the bridge, they will meet you halfway.
Right.
And sometimes go beyond that. Some will
Right.
take you directly. They'll say, "Oh, well, I'll walk you to the bus stop. I'll walk
Hmm.
you, make sure that you aren't,
Hmm.
harassed by any hawkers or any, sketchy situations, if you will,
Hmm.
or harassed by anything, or
Hmm.
they just want to ensure that you are comfortable and you're safe. So
Good.
that language, knowing the
Opens a
language
lot of doors.
is key,
Yeah.
very
Excellent. It
key.
opens a lot of doors. I found the same thing in Brazil. People are very accommodating, and it's a very polite society. So
Yes.
as soon as you say "buenos dias," "buenas noches," or for us "bom dia," or "tarde," people are like,
Hmm.
"Oh, you understand." You start with a greeting before you start asking for things. Makes a
Absolutely.
big difference. Makes a big difference.
Absolutely. I would say
So
just know the basics, the hello, goodbye, thank you, and yes and no.
yes, and no, and that's
It goes
exactly
a
what I
long
do
way.
with my clients. I do with my clients, especially just to make sure how to order. The very basics with that. You have to feed yourself. You
Yeah,
have to find food. That's
absolutely.
always important. That's always important.
Absolutely.
So
And
before we have
that's,
to, go ahead.
I was going to say the second tip I would say, and you kind of led into it, is also enjoy the food, because when you eat like the regular everyday citizens, that's when you get to live life
Oh
than the
yeah.
speed that they live in. So
Oh,
try that.
absolutely.
Always do
Yeah.
that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So before we sign off from this, because this has been absolutely fantastic, there's a fascinating place that you're going to that I want to bring you back and talk about. And you want to tell folks what that place is?
Yeah, well, I'm always on the go, and my next destination is Praia Cabo Verde.
Ah,
And Cabo Verde, Cape Verde, as we would say in anglicized
right.
dialect. Cape Verde, which is right off the coast of Senegal, but it's a former Portuguese colony.
Mm-hmm.
So their language is a mix of, well, it's actually a Pidgin Creole form of Portuguese. So it's they speak fluent Portuguese there, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But the if you know the little bit of the Creole, it goes a long way.
It goes a long
And
way.
is my second time going, and I'm going there this time as a performing DJ for a.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much. I've been waiting, dreaming about going back ever since I went before. It's
Excellent.
amazing.
Excellent. So we're going to have you talk a little bit more in depth about that performance and so forth. So it's been a pleasure to have son Lucas here, with us on Tucker Business and Travel. We got a little peek into traveling in Medellin, Colombia, and some of the tips in order to do that, and as well as him looking forward to going to Capo Verde or Cape Verde, and oh my God, the Portuguese. I totally understand.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
with that, my friend, we're going to sign off. And, once again, thank you and safe travels to you on your way.
Thank you for having me, and safe travels to you and all of your viewers.
Thank you.